For today's demonstration, we're going to show how to use PDI to load data into a Mongo database. Let's take a look. I already have my database started, and we can see we don't have any collections in it. Today we're going to be using a sugar CRM data, and I'm going to show you a little bit the list of the tables that we have available. We're not going to load all of them, but I want just to show you a little example about loading 2 of them and making relationship between each other. First, we're going to start with the accounts. Accounts, as you can see, we have a little set of accounts, and we're going to show you the layout of the table. Here we have all the fields, and we're going to be loading all those fields into the Mongo database. Okay, let's use a table input for this purpose. I'm going to drag this to the canvas layout. We're going to select data source. And now we're going to use our little get SQL statement to help us out to build a simple SQL sentence. Okay, let's get all the fields. As you can see here, we have all the fields. Let's do a little preview of the data. Okay, we're going to see only 1,000 records. We only have 50 records on this database. So, oh, 1 second. Let me show you the preview again, because there is something that I missed. I wanted to show you that, and I want you to pay attention that we have some fields and many null fields also. I want you to keep attention to that for the future. Okay, so now that we have our table input, we're going to use a MongoDB output. We're going to put that in the canvas, connect to each other, and now let's open the MongoDB. Let's put always some very nice descriptions to this. So we have accounts collection, and now as you can see the database connection is a standard. I'm not going to change any of that. Let's connect to our database. I created a database for today that is called sugar data, and on the collections we don't have anything, so we're going to create accounts. These items that we have here we'll explain later. So let's go to the fields and let's get fields. That will get all the fields from the previous step. So you can see here we have all the previous steps fields. We're going to rename some of them, like this one. I'm going to say that we want to use that field that we just wrote. I will explain the other fields in the future when we do the updates. So in this case, there are some fields like this one that I want to somehow classify. I don't want all those fields to be as one huge document. I want to classify some of them. So this date entered is a metadata field, and I'm going to do metadata also for date modified, user ID, created by, and let's see if we have any other. Oh, let's put a assign user, and we don't have anything else. Wonderful. So now that we have these items as metadata, let's see what else we have. As you can see, we have a lot of billing information addresses, so let's put all that in addresses.billing. That will create a new document inside our document for addresses. And actually we're going to create addresses billing. So we have here the street, we're going to put the city, let's put here the state, let's put the postal code. Oh, let me rename that. I don't think it's postal code. And let's call this country. Oh, let me just fix that 1 second. Perfect. When we put here no, is to say use those names and don't use the names that we have on the original data source. Okay? So as you can see here we have our billing addresses, but we also have shipping addresses. So I'm going to also put those into the addresses as a set of items, but in this case is going to be shipping. So we have the shipping street. I'm going to copy all of that, and then we have the shipping city. We have the shipping state, shipping postal code, and we have the shipping country. Perfect. So with this information, we just have to put here my options as no. Let me do it right away. We click the keyboard, just like that. And let's do a preview of our document. As you can see, all the metadata items, as you can see, And we have addresses at the bottom, and as you can see, which is divided into two subdocuments, billing and shipping, and we have all our information. That's wonderful. Looks like a very nice document. Now we have these phone numbers distributed around. We can put them into an array. Okay, we could do what we did right now, but we're gonna do it in a different way. Let's go to our phone. Where do I have the phone? Here we have phone office. Let's put this phone into an array. An array, this is going to be for array for item 0. This is going to be item 1. Don't worry about this. If they are null, he will skip them. He will show them in the preview as if they were in order, and I will show you how this is done. Let me put here phone item number 3, for example. And if I show you the preview document, you will see a little null there. String, null, and then another string. Basically, that's because I put number 3 and it should be number 2. However, don't worry, MongoDB driver will organize them accordingly. Perfect. So now that we have this, let's just save it. Let's see, accounts. Sugar accounts. Sounds better. Perfect. Now that we have all this done, let's execute this. 1 second, let's just launch it. And you're gonna see that here in the bottom we have only 50 records. Let's jump to the terminal. So we go to our Mongo client and we see what arrived to Mongo. So here we have our terminal. Let's show all the collections. As you can see, the new collection is in accounts. And let's just do a little find one into our accounts. As you can see, we have a very well structured document with all our metadata, addresses, and phone number. As you can see, we have only one phone number in this case. And actually, if you want to see more items, let's just check. Let's do a little find with a limit of 10 records, 10 documents. Okay, and let's make them pretty like this. There you go. Here we have one document, here we have another document, here we have another document. So as you can see, we loaded our 50 records and they look very well. Perfect. Okay, so now let's start loading our contacts. We're going to load the contacts. Here we have, in this database, I have a lot of contacts to load. So let's do a little more interesting example. This is going to be very similar to the previous one. I'm going to select the sugar CRM database. We're going to get the list of tables. We're going to select the contacts table. Yes. So here we have a bunch of items. And now let's have a quick look to these fields. As you can see, we will have a bunch of empty fields also. You will see that they are not loaded into the database. Okay, wonderful. Let's put a name to this. And now that we're done, let's just drag our MongoDB table output. Perfect. So here we are going to connect to contacts. We're going to put the information from, no, that's not the one. Sorry, mistake. It's sugar data. We're going to see that we have accounts there, but we're not going to load in accounts. We're going to load in contacts. So these fields will explain later, as I said. Let's get the items. Let's just do this real quick, like underscore ID. This is metadata again. It's very similar database structure, table structure, sorry. And here we have the different items. We have the address we saw down there. Let's just very quickly put the mobile phone. Well, the phone, we're not going to be specifying any of them. So you can see, we're going to put here 1, and here we have 2. I have one more over here. This we have the assistant. We have the assistant name, and let's put the assistant phone. Wonderful. So next step, let's do all our loading of information from the addresses. Okay, we have all our elements loaded. Okay, let's just have a look to our data and let's specify that we want to use our new field names. Okay, like here I'm gonna use very quickly the keyboard. Oh, I missed one. Let's move down here, so we have all of them. I want to show you real quick what would happen, for example, if I leave one of them without this one. Let's show it in the phone numbers. If I do a preview of the document, here we have phones and we have phone home, phone mobile, phone work. So it's specifying each of them from the name that we get from the source. If we specify here no, we will have an array, which is what I'm looking for in this example. And we have the assistant, we have all the information, metadata, wonderful. So now let's just click OK. Let's save this transformation as our sugar contacts and let's execute it. Here we have, as you can see, few thousand contacts. So you will see that the line 1 is reading from the database is going to finish first, and then it's going to continue loading into the MongoDB 42,000. There we go. We have them. Let's go now to our terminal. Here we have it. Let's see our collections. Okay. Let's start over. DB collections dot find one. There you go. We have our metadata, we have our phone numbers. In this case, we have 3 phone numbers, as you can see. Okay, we have the addresses, and we have the secondary, which is empty, something we'll discuss later. Perfect. So we have our data loaded. Now, there is something I want to show you to make this more interesting. That we have our contacts, but now we want to load the relationship between the contacts and the accounts. So let's do another transformation. We're not going to load in a different collection because that would not follow the Mongo's advantages. But let's just read it from our sugar database, from our accounts to contact table. Let's see what we have here. A bunch of IDs. I'm taking advantage that I selected the IDs of each item to be the same ID that had the original database. So we're going to use those IDs. It was a little bit on purpose. Okay, we have all our data. Let's change the name here. Okay. Perfect. Now, let's use again the same MongoDB output step. We're going to just change a few items here. Same connection. We have the same name. We're going to update accounts. Let's select our database. And let's select, our accounts collection. Now we're going to update this collection. And we're going to do upserts. And we're going to use a modifier. Basically, if you read the descriptions there, it says that we're going to insert new items. We're not going to replace the document. This is how it's done. So let's remove this field. We're not going to use this one or this one or this one for this example. We just need these two. The account ID will be the main ID of my document. So I'm going to say how it's called inside of my document. We can use many fields. And now the contact ID will be my new item, but I'm going to call it contacts inside my account. I'm going to say that not to use the same name that we had. I'm going to say that we want to push the item. So every record that we'll find, it will make a push, and here we have how it's going to make it. We have the query, is by the ID, and then the modifier. We're going to push contacts. So if you know how MongoDB in obserts work, this will push into an array which doesn't exist right now, but it will be created on the first load. Okay, let's just save this real quick. Sugar, update counts, and contacts. Perfect. Let's now execute this. We have 201 records already loaded. And now let's go to our MongoDB. Let's clear the screen, show collections. We have the same collections. And now let's check our accounts. Accounts, find one. Oh, as you can see, we have in this account, we have 2 contacts. And we have the ID of the contacts loaded into this. So it's an N-to-1 relationship. So let's just check a few more. Here we have 1 contact, here we have 2 contacts, here we have 2 more contacts, and 1 contact. Amazing! So in this little example, we showed how to load all the data into a MongoDB database. In future examples, we will see how to read from a MongoDB and how to use the aggregation framework and to load this information into an analytical view and create some interesting dashboards from it.